Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash, and a sincere salutations to the hopeful elect, and also a healthy shalom to the few Akwath who are listening and learning. Lord's willing, this lesson be edifying and straight to the point. And I ran across this BBC News clip yesterday night, and through the spirit, I wanted to do a lesson on it right then and there, but I ended up, falling asleep. But hey, there's no time like the present. You got a little bit of extra time on the slavery, and we're gonna make this lesson happen through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah. So enough with the rambling. Before I play this clip, y'all already know what I'm gonna get. 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 22, and it reads, "Suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty." Right. A famine is coming. All right. Not only a famine of the word, of hearing the word, this truth, but also a literal famine of food and your everyday common essentials. All right. Store shelves completely empty. Things that were once easily obtained, through any, at any grocery store or even convenience store, all right, are going to be to the point where they're hard to get. And then it's going to come to a point where there's not going to be any access to them. Okay. These are the times that the Heavenly Father spoke about, the last days. And we're in the last days of the last days, where all these prophecies are coming to pass. And the Heavenly Father is making it plain. So plain that your regular media, your Foxes, your CNN, are even telling you the truth right to your face. So let's play this clip.
Lots of mentions of the word deal there, Faisal. What's your sense of whether one may be close?
Hi, Jen. Yeah, we've had some significant developments really in the last hour or so that may help to explain the conciliatory tone that I picked up and communicated in that report, which is that our partners CBS News are reporting that the chief executives of Walmart and Target have privately warned President Trump of empty shelves in the coming weeks if he continues with his tariff policies, and that probably particularly concerns the prohibitive tariffs both ways on US-China trade. We're hearing from the ports on the west coast of America, Los Angeles in particular, of a potential collapse in China to US cargoes, down 33% this week, potentially 44% in the first week of May. This is a serious hit to the world economy, and something that will be seen visibly in the US on shelves, if you believe the CEOs of some of America's biggest companies, or at least the reporting of what they have said privately. This is highly significant stuff, may explain, as I say, some of the reaches for deals. We think there might be a meeting between Scott Bessent, who you saw in my report, the US Treasury Secretary, and his Chinese counterpart. That meeting, if it happens, assumes incredible importance in bringing the world down from this trade war. We don't know if it happens. We don't know if the Chinese want to pick up the phone and attend that. We don't know what the conditions will be, but incredibly important meetings happening here at the IMF in DC, and not just involving the UK.
Looks great.
And ultimately, it really doesn't matter if these CEOs have meetings and conversations with Trump and telling him what his actions are going to lead to. All right. Because ultimately, it's not Trump making the decisions. Ultimately, it's the Heavenly Father. All right. This is Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord Adawan. OK. And heart, the Hebrew word there is lab, meaning his mind. All right. So the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord Adawan's. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. Right. So the Heavenly Father is putting the spirit on these kings of the earth to make the decisions that they're making. All right. And the decisions that Trump is making is a decision that's going to bring about famine, chaos, turmoil. OK, keeping it short, Jacob's trouble. a time like never before on the face of this earth. Okay. Now, from here, I wanted to go to the comments of the video. And I want to read this comment. It says, China needs us and we don't need them. Trump press secretary said, China is waiting patiently for the whole world to see who will suffer most from the high tariffs. The Americans have lived too comfortably from affordable products that China produced with hard work. All right. By the way, did you say thank you? All right. So you see, and the world knows this. All right. The world knows that these Americans or these Babylonians are now fat off the hog, man. They have got so accustomed to cheap items, man. Cheap goods. Okay. Cheap goods. And all of this is about to change. So let's grab, what do I want? Ecclesiasticus chapter 5 and verse 7, it reads, Make no tarrying to turn to the Lord out of wine, and put not off from day to day. For suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord out of wine come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed, and perish in the day of vengeance. Right, in thy security. Now let's look up this word security. Let's get the antimon. It says security. All right. It says state or condition of being safe from danger or harm, freedom from care or anxiety. And ultimately, that's what you Babylonians are. You Americans are free from care. All right. And I'm not talking about your everyday cares like your mortgage, your rent, feeding your kids and so forth and so on. But as far as your everyday care of the things that are taking place on the global scale, all these things, these dominoes are falling that are going to bring about chaos to America, and not only America, the world, by destroying this fragile economic system. OK, this is supply chain system. All these things, y'all are without care. All right. Now, this is Ezekiel chapter 38 and verse 11. It reads, And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. What's that land of unwalled villages? America, man. Okay. No security on all sides. All right. No missile defense systems to defend this place against intercontinental ballistic missiles. Defenseless. Your military is scattered abroad in all these other nations' land. No protection at home. So it says, and thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages. I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely. All right. And all of you are at rest and think that you dwell safely and think that nothing that happens in these other countries and third world nations can happen here in America. You have that big body of water like President Zelensky of Ukraine said. You think you have this big body of water in between you to keep you far from danger. But danger and chaos is going to come not only to the shores of America, but civil war on the inside of America. Family members against family members, friends against friends. You know the scriptures. So it says, I will go to them that are at rest, that dwell safely, all of them dwelling without walls and having neither bars nor gates. And we know that America, there's more guns in America than people. So when shit pops off, it's going to be worse than anywhere on the planet. You can believe this. Trust me. You can believe this. All right. So the day of the Lord's vengeance is nigh. It's close at hand. All right. So Lord's willing, this was edifying, straight to the point. Shalom, Israel. Wa abad babal.